cooking show is now on. Dave's Garden Kitchen. Welcome. This is our dinner tonight, shrimp scampi light, 5 meals for $5. We're doing budgeting. You're looking at my betta fish, or our betta fish. Sarah and I are owners of this lovely betta fish, which people say, change the water, Dave. It's getting too green. But you know, fish are very, see how excited he is? He's excited because he knows I'm going to put a little bit of food in there. There he is. You saw him grab it. Did you see that? Okay, so we're going to start with a wonderful shrimp dish. I've got some shrimp defrosting in the sink here. And this is ethically raised in Vietnam. So some of you are worried about the ethical nature of shrimp farming. As you know, Indonesia has slave farms, which do not, in any way protect the human rights of the people, but I enjoy the fish prices. So obviously shrimp at $9.99 a pound is about what you're going to get anywhere in the country. Now, if you have a particular need to come in here and share your views, that's great, but bear in mind you're not allowed to actually post any support for other candidates here. All right. So we do this show nightly. If you're watching this YouTube clip, this is the beginning of a show. We're going to be uploading this later to my YouTube, which is at youtube.com/David John Sponheim, and that's Jon. And catch us every Thursday night, 5 p.m. Pacific. We do a cooking show for budget-conscious people. So I'm going to stop that YouTube live recording, and that'll be uploaded right now onto America's Third Party. Okay, we're still recording our regular broadcast. As you can see, I've got a lot of jet noise in my area, so you'll have to put up with that. This is some old onions that I've had put in a plastic bag, so you just kind of cook with whatever you have. I've got a beautiful red onion, and I recommend red onions for shrimp scampi. The thing about shrimp scampi, you want to make it as delicate as possible, so I've had a lot of criticism for not sauteing my food and using the microwave too much. So today we're going to kind of work opposite to that. I've got a container of boiling water over here. It's actually just going to a boil at level 2. About that much water we're going to be using to make not only pasta, but cauliflower. That's part of the mix. And I picked up this entire cauliflower was only 49 cents with a little blemish right there. See it? So I'm going to show you how to cut those blemishes off. Hope you're having a good time out there. Yeah. Chemtrails. Yeah, we got a chemtrail today. I was going to go out with my camera and do an inspirational rage video, but I was driving down the road and I said, it would be inappropriate to grab a camera and stand out in the highway and start screaming. Especially since I didn't have a tripod. But we are going to do one of those chemtrail videos because we were talking about it. And I'm going to run it on a new site that I'm developing. And I haven't released the name of the site because it's kind of important that I keep it private right now. But anyway, we're going to take a look and cut the blemishes off. So just real simple. See that? It's almost too bright. You can barely see it. You see there's a little blemish right here and one right here. You can really see that with that lighting. And right there. Okay. And right there. So then I just take it and rinse it off with filtered water like that. And we're good to go. Now I'm only going to use half of this particular thing, cauliflower. And I'm going to get that going right away. The cauliflower is going to be the base. I'm also going to use capallini in here, but I'm going to put cauliflower in the hot water right now to get it going and keep the vitamins in the water. So I'm boiling with saving vitamins, making sure I don't have any kind of a blemish on there. Okay. So all you have to do is just break it up into medium-sized chunks. Just throw it in there. It'll break up further. I'm going to put one more in there. Okay. We are going to take and chop the celery. And the celery is going to be chopped fine. I'm going to cook the celery on a pan right here. I'm going to take that flame up to, say, level 3. Or no, make it 4. This is going to be a scampi. Are you with me? No, it's not rotten cauliflower. What are you talking about? Come on. What are you... Are you kidding me? I bought a cauliflower for 49 cents and you're giving me an argument? That's ridiculous. Okay, you want to slice off any blemishes here too. See that? Blemish. Blemish. And this is because I use all the vegetables, and this stuff goes in a compost heap, anything that's a blemish. Some people take the actual ribbing off of the celery. And if you ever want to really be a fancy cook and you're making a scampi, you have to do that. Okay? It's important you de-thread the celery. I'm serious. If you really want to be a subtle chef. Now, I'm getting a lot of heat for not having sauteing going on. So, and I'm paying attention to all the details in this dish. So I want everybody to know that we're not going to just, produce some garbage for $5. This is a high quality dinner. You always want to cut away from your fingers and you don't want to get ahead of yourself. I'm going to slice this fairly thin and I'm going to dice it very thin. Now, as you know, I am the fastest chef in the world, so other than a Benihana chef I met one time. All right, let's do it. You can also throw this in a food processor if you really want to save some super fast time. And do it with an onion as well. Now, I cook with olive oil usually, but this dish you can cook with safflower or sunflower, but do not cook with canola or soybean oil. Okay, canola and soybean oil are GMO, mostly. You can also add some non-GMO Smart Balance. So today I'm just going to throw a little Smart Balance in there, in the pan, while it's getting hot. It's a non-hydrogenated product, so it's good. Extra virgin olive oil. Buttery spread. Nice. It's a lot of oil, but make sure it's non-GMO if you can. I'm going to put the celery inside there. You can't really see that. Hang on. So he said, stand up straight, David. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and cut the onions up. Now, I'm sauteing the cauliflower here. Not sauteing, but I'm actually soft boiling the cauliflower over here in the hot water. Taking that level up to 4. Actually, I'm going to put both levels at 4. So that's like a medium-low flame. Okay, onions, same thing. Kind of a 1/4 inch to 1/8 of an inch. Dice them fairly small. Yeah, I love red pepper. Or rather red, I don't have any red pepper, but I love red onions. You could put red pepper in this dish. It does change the dimension. I would not put green pepper. I was toying with the idea of putting green pepper, but I said no. I'm not going to do it. Not going to do it. Okay, and then no end pieces. Don't put end pieces in there. Okay, more onions in the dish. Okay, we're going to get this up to a pretty high flame here, moving it around with the oil. You can also use good old-fashioned butter. I highly recommend butter. The UK is full of GMO. Oh, I did not know that. Well, Germany is saying no to GMO. Russia is saying no to GMO. Look at these beautiful garlics grown in the USA. You've got to be avoiding anything grown in China. They're using all kinds of weird stuff on the garlic in China, pesticides, etc. So get it USA born garlic if you can, or Mexican garlic. But we're going to throw garlic in there. It's really important we put that in there. And the rest of that other onion. Lots of onions. Now, if you have pearl onions, you could really go for it. I'm going to only put one garlic in right now for flavoring, and I'm going to mince it like that. And that goes right in there. Okay. That should get nice and hot. I'm going to add a little water to kind of urge the steam to go. This is one of my tricks. It's a steam fry technique I use. Just a little bit of water. Just a teeny bit. Filtered water. All right. Excellent. I'm glad we're here today, huh? I actually like this show. It's pretty fun. Onion me up, man. Yeah. Yeah, Europe had a landmark ruling in 2015, no GMO crops, but Trans-Pacific Partnership is basically a backdoor for Monsanto to start doing GMO in countries like Ukraine. And that's what they're planning, in case you're wondering why our country was positioning itself around Ukraine. Yeah, I'm against TPP, as you know, but there's a lot of reasons why it is full of complications. And of course, we've got a lot of issues that are already being unresolved on GMOs, like the DARK Act that was just signed by Barack Obama. And remember when he said that he would not in any way prevent people from putting GMO labeling on all food? Well, by signing the DARK Act, he's preventing everybody from putting GMO labeling on unless they have a non-GMO product. They can just mark a non-GMO product with a label. But not all things will be labeled under the DARK Act. You'll have a thing where your tablet will actually be able to swipe the UPC code, but that's the only compromise they put together for GMO labeling, which is messed up. It really is. Okay, this is Indonesian, or actually Vietnamese grown. I'm going to have to clean the shrimp, and this is about $1.50's worth of shrimp. You can get about $2. Generally $2 for this, at $9.99 a pound, so this is about a quarter of a pound, so $2.50 maybe. So a quarter pound of shrimp, jumbo shrimp. I'm gonna have to pull all of the tails off of this, so that's important. And I just pulled it out of the freezer, so it's kind of a, okay, that's already going over there, that's good. Okay, that water over there is boiling nicely with the cauliflower in it. So as I pull the tails off of these things, I'm trying to be fastidious to make sure I get all the tails. You don't want to get somebody to eat a tail. That would be kind of a messed up thing. What's this hard, impossible thing to eat in my mouth? Try to get them cooked with the tail on. If you have to buy them really cheap, like over at the dollar store, you can get a $1 packet of shrimp, but they're so small it would, you know. I would urge you to get a $1 packet of shrimp and a $1 packet of bay scallops. They sell that at the dollar store, and that makes a really nice, similar to Scampi. It's an Alfredo that is exceptional. Okay, I bought a large container of Italian seasoning. And what I do, one of the tricks I do when making pasta and vegetables, perfect, that looks good. Okay, I'm going to take that shrimp. I got an industrial size Italian seasoning container because I was running out. Isn't that great? Yeah, I realized that. Do you want to ruin my shrimp experience? Excuse me. Thank you. Okay, let's go ahead and put the I'm prepping this. This is a brand new container, as you can see. Its freshness seal is right there. I love the freshness seal. I wouldn't buy a product unless it had a freshness seal on it. This is made in the United States, but it works around the laws. It says packed in the United States. So it might have ingredients from other parts of the world. I don't know. I'm just grabbing it because it's got marjoram, thyme, rosemary, savory, sage, oregano, and basil. Everything a good cook needs. Now what I do is I actually put the seasoning in the water while my cauliflower is boiling. And I'm going to go ahead and put the seasoning on top of my onions and my celery. Okay. No. Okay. Gotcha. And I'm going to put the shrimp right on top of that. All right, cover it up. Give it a shake. We're in business. No, I didn't see its long form birth certificate. Thank you. But that's okay. I'm at the point where I like oregano because it's really good for you. It's got a fantastic natural antibiotic capability. So the more oregano you integrate in your diet, probably the better off you are. Basil's a little bit more like a pesticide. They actually found that basil acts like a pesticide to other plants. So I don't use a lot of basil. I had some fresh basil a couple weeks ago that I ended up having to toss half of it because it blackens in the refrigerator. All right. Rojo garlic, really? I have never heard of that. Is it like an elephant garlic? Pretty cool. Okay, so we've got the, I'm going to keep that scampi at level 4, and the cauliflower is ready to actually take the linguine. But I'm not using linguine, I put it in the box. I'm actually using capallini. So I tricked myself here. It calls for angel hair or capallini. We're gonna go ahead and put this entire package, or it's like a half of a pound of capallini in the water with the cauliflower. Now what I do with these packages, these can get out of control. So what I do is I grab them at the top like that, put it over there, and then break it in half like this, right in there, and then give it a little spiral, and then take a wooden spatula and integrate it right in around the cauliflower. Making sure you move it around so it doesn't get stuck, but we're talking about making maximum use of the hot water. And notice I'm not cooking with a cover, because if I did, you'd have a problem. You'd have a big boil over. So that's not something I would ever do. Unless, of course, I was cooking on a trip to Mount Everest, and I actually had to keep every bit of that hot water controlled. Garlic is excellent, yeah. And notice I'm not even adding the garlic yet. I've got that going here. I'm adding an egg and some yogurt. And I'm adding more butter to this mix. And I'm adding the garlic. So yogurt, non-fat yogurt, a little butter to offset the yogurt, an egg. I'm going to take this scampi right here, kind of press it in like that into the herbs and into the onions, and then cover it right up. Because this is making a sort of a roux. Yeah, that's the word for it. I love Ronzoni. Yeah, if I could get everything Ronzoni, I would get everything, because they now are committed to the non-GMO project, which is great. The capallini I had was from Italy, but it didn't say non-GMO. So I'm not the kind of person who really has I'm not too fixated on GMOs. I'm concerned. But you know, with everything going on, I mean, you walk out into the airport, you're breathing so many 55,000 chemicals. What difference does it make if I'm getting non-GMO spaghetti tonight? You know what I mean? I mean, seriously, there's so much incredible pollution in our world. Okay, we got a good, oh yeah, that boil's coming in. Okay, be sure you make it sure it doesn't stick to the bottom like I almost did. There you go. Moving it around. The linguine, or rather the capallini, is mixing. You can use any kind of pasta, but it's mixing with the cauliflower and the herbs that I put in there. Now you can take and break up that cauliflower a little bit since it's starting to get tender. And that's the beauty of this. It takes half the carbohydrates out of the dish. And eventually cauliflower becomes almost melded with the white sauce, so you can't even tell it when it's done. But we're making a low-fat, a light white sauce. Even though I'm using butter, I'm using it in a way that makes total sense. As a flavor additive. Now that's a really good, see how all the moisture in there is coming together? That's part of the white sauce. Okay, I'm going to take a pat of butter and let it soak right in on top of that. I'm going to turn the flame down to low at this point because remember that shrimp is already cooked. You don't want to overcook it. It was cooked out of the bag. Okay. I'm going to pull the top off of that and put it right there. I'm going to turn this down to low. And I'm going to add my peas to that spaghetti dish. The peas are going directly in right from the freezer. Now this is how I actually utilize all the heat in the most efficient way. And the capallini's al dente. When I'm done and the peas are perfect, prawn lives matter, exactly. And they're chefed up. They're ready to go. Now I'm going to add the egg to the top of this. But before I do, I'm going to add fresh garlic on top of this. Now you can gladly use garlic powder. Don't worry about that. But I'm going to integrate just the fresh garlic into the top of it because I'm really kind of setting the taste for the final white sauce. And you want to keep layering garlic in. I've been cooking for 47 years now, 46 years. And I've read most recipe books on the market that were available in the 60s. Lately, I've just been following cooking shows. But my enjoyment factor is really why I do this. If I were doing this for some personal gain, the only thing I'm gaining is having a nice meal for $5. Now take about 4 big tablespoons of yogurt and add it to the top of that. Maybe 5, we're talking major. Just cover the whole top of that and let it cook at low. And this is non-fat yogurt. Okay. That was so good. I love yogurt. You're calling me a modern day American Gordon Ramsay? Piss off! My God, man! Pull yourself together! I'm working on his voice, but I haven't quite mastered it. All right, so we put things away. Yogurt goes away. Smart balance goes away. Critical ingredient. This appears in almost all my meals, the Parmesan cheese. Now I know a lot of you are going to say, well, what are you doing, Dave? Why are you using Parmesan cheese that has cellulose in it? Oh gosh, I wouldn't want cellulose. Well, frankly, I think it's time to cover this up. So I'm going to take this cover off of here and put that on there. I'm going to turn the temperature back up to level 2 and bring that up to more of a boil. Yeah, cellulose, yeah. This is ready to go. Completely ready to go. Check this out. I'm going to strain it, put it back in the container that it's in. And I always turn water on whenever I'm straining. So put cold water on so you don't want to hurt your pipes with hot water going in there. Here we go. Whoa. Okay. Back on the flame and break it all up. Make sure it's thoroughly broken up. And take some Parmesan cheese and put that around the spaghetti. It's a flavoring agent. Okay, we're talking about 10 shakes total. All right. You want to cap this off? I'll use this cap just for, and turn it completely off. All right, isn't this fun? Yeah. Yay! Okay, I've forgotten a key and a very important spice, but it was intentional because what I want to do now is add the all-essential dill weed to the dish. You have to have dill weed. Yeah, it's essential whenever you're cooking with any shellfish or seafood to put dill weed. Now I'm going to put that right on the white sauce. Okay, and then I'm going to take this little wooden spatula I have here and kind of mix it in. Okay? Isn't that great? Now I'm gonna take in the middle of this pan, because it's still coming to a boil. I'm gonna take an egg. And that pretty much takes me to the top load. That's as much as I can put in there. I'm going to mix that egg up in the middle, like this. That great? Kind of go in a circle. You're slowly glazing the entire dish with a little egg yolk and almond. Okay, this is called mixing the sauce. I'm going to cover this up and take that up level 2 to a happy melding of the flavors. And when I see a boil in here, when I see a little percolator boil, that's when I know it's ready to shut it off. It's a big creamy fettuccine dish. Yeah, it's quite a load there, isn't it? It is a little gross, yeah, but the egg actually integrates into it and cooks to 140 degrees, which is, I think by law, required to cook eggs to 140 degrees. I think it's 160 for chicken, but you know, just take it up to 160 degrees if you got a little thermometer and you're incredibly anal. And all you do is measure the temperature of your dish. That would be hilarious, wouldn't it? If you just stood there with a temperature. Okay, we have a little boil over. You know, I'm going to pull that off and I'm going to do what the other people say I should do. I'm going to do a thing called saute. So we are now going to saute the dish. Isn't that beautiful? Yeah, saute. So we've introduced a brand new technique. You've probably watched over 10 of my shows already. And now we're going to saute the dinner, especially if it's boiling over. Because the last thing you want to do is put a lid on top of something you're sauteing. All right. Take it up to 160 degrees. Gently caress the dish, nudging every one of those shrimps, which are golden and delicious and sweet and wonderful, coming out of the sheltered farmland waters of Vietnam, away from the Fukushima radiation spill from Japan. And just nestle that in there and let it, we just look at that. Would you just look at that? Just look at that. Isn't that amazing? Just look at it. Okay. Has that guy trademarked that phrase yet? Caress your shrimp. We call it scrimps. All right. We got somebody from the hood wants to make some scampi with us. And y'all that call that scrimps. I got that, man. That's cool. Whatever. Dave, just the meal up with egg and yogurt. Oh, come on. No. You don't understand. This is low-cal shrimp scampi, man. I call it shrimp scampi light. 5 meals for $5. I did not have to go out. No, I'm going to defend myself now. I am absolutely going to defend myself. You are here to criticize me, and I'm going to say flat out, you cannot put a lower calorie dish together that tastes incredible for less money that I'm using right here. Now, there is one important ingredient that is severely lacking in this dish. Do you know what that is? This is a quiz. Anybody have any idea? Okay, time's up. The ingredient you're missing is salt. Right, salt. So I have some ancient sea salt from my ancient sea salt collection. I'm going to do a little sprinkle, not like a Chef Ramsay sprinkle, which is like forever. I'm going to put a little bit of, I'm going to go with 1/8 of a teaspoon. Now there was salt in the Parmesan. There was salt in the Smart Balance. There are certain levels of salt in the celery. The shrimp has natural salt, but unlike Chef Ramsay, I don't oversalt my meals. Okay, real Trump, he wins the posthumous award even though he's still alive. Congratulations. Now you're asking me big questions, man. Is salt a meat or a vegetable? That's a tough one. We got to ask yourself, if you are down to the wire financially, and I've served a similar dish to some of my family members from God knows where, and they loved it. They absolutely loved it. I'm going to get a bowl and prepare this in a bowl for you. Now you can replace this entire dish with scallops. Base scallops work just the same. Less prep. You try not to sweat in the bowl, and please don't expose the bowl to chemtrails prior to putting your food in there. Okay, are you ready for the big reveal? Let's get all our herbs, and actually we're good there. Okay. I'm going to top this off with a little paprika. Yeah. You like? Oh man, I got this really good paprika. 75 cents on sale, marked down, Hungarian. Oh, this lowers your blood pressure. That's what I've been told, paprika. So you got to be careful. You don't want to overdo it. But I'm going to use that as a topper. And I'm going to take this entire dish right now and invert it into the bowl. Ta-da! Wasn't that easy? Super easy. Okay. Lightly lofting the pasta so it doesn't get too lumpy. And take this 160-degree Scampi topper and go right on top of it. Ta-da! Da-da-da-da-da-da! Yay! Take your milk solids and mix them all in with Scampi and kind of spread it around. Nesting the peas and the shrimp together. What you're doing is letting this sit and meld. All the ingredients will then meld. I have a little pasta that's stuck together that I'm going to have on the side. I need to eat too. Put a little bit more Parmesan on top. Some people would use pepper. You could use pepper instead of paprika. I don't want to open the top or it'd be a nightmare. Okay, and just kind of lightly dust for your final appearance. Yay, how about that? Cover it up and have it later. Okay, everybody, that was it. That was as good as it gets. I'm glad you joined me for a shrimp scampi light, 5 meals for $5. You're going to make at least 5 meals out of that. It could even be 7 meals. Seriously. Don't be scared. This is really good food. I mean, when you eat food like this, you'll be like, oh, this is incredible. Yeah, it looks really good. Now you can add more cheese. You could add lemon pepper, but I'm staying away from those ingredients because lemon kind of changes the dimension of a pasta dish, and it would have curdled my yogurt. All right, it's not a goldfish, it's a betta fish. Are you saying my betta fish is African American? Is that what you're saying? Curdle your yogurt, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to say goodnight. Thank you for coming in and watching this YouTube show. I now go into the other room, different shirt, get the pre-show going, and we will be up and running in just about 5 minutes. But I'm going to stay in here for a second, so you can hang tight. I'm going to stop this recording.